Welcome to another beautiful edition of Sport Update on AYOGEN TV. As you all know, it is time for Sport Updates. I enjoy you all to sit and watch back as we'll be discussing a lot about our sports. Today here with me in studio is one of my analysts, Atolulope Emmanuel. Good evening.
Good evening, HB.
It's nice to have you on board again.
Thank you for having me once again. It's a privilege and I really appreciate that.
Let's quickly go to the business of the day, which is the African Cup of Nations, which is ongoing on at Cameroon. A lot of things that actually happened in the course of last week begins today. Our darling Super Eagles is out of the competitions, and the competition is still progressive. And it was such a shocking move that the Super Eagles is out of the African Cup of Nations.
You know, while we were discussing on Saturday, last weekend, I said whenever we are playing against these North African countries, it's always a thing to be scared of. It's posed a fear on my mind that we are actually playing against one of the best sides in Africa. And you see, Tunisia, they've been a force in African football before now. Just a little chance, they maximized the chance, and before you know it, the game ended in their favor. And all we could say is Super Eagles have done well.
Actually, a lot of people were actually putting the blame on the technical crew and the goalkeeper that the match, we should have won it convincingly.
Of course, by a squad we have and by what we've been able to do during the group stages, there's nothing stopping the Super Eagles from going past Tunisia in that round of game. But it's quite unfortunate that the technical crew being led by Austin Eguavoen himself, the guy he really tried actually, but his best is not the best for this kind of tournament, and that's why we need the service of the
Joseph Parcero.
But
taking a look at the ongoing African Cup of Nations, we have a lot of, let me say, homegrown coach at hand. If you see the coach of Senegal, the coach of Cameroon and the likes, they are all homegrown coach. Don't you see that it is high time for the Super Eagles of Nigeria to exhibit the fact that they need homegrown coach?
Of course, there are times where we've been using homegrown guys. Take for instance, Austin Eguavoen himself at least had managed the Super Eagles, if not for a twice or before now. Then this guy, Stephen Keshi, of late, of which the posthumous birthday was celebrated a few days ago. And you know what this guy did for the Super Eagles? He was able, as a captain of the side, he won the cup manager. That was 2013 precisely. This guy also, so we have these talented guys from the home soil, and not a crime if we have a homegrown talent being managing our team. We have the likes of Ghana, who has done this before, the Senegalese team, like you've mentioned. I think giving them opportunity will UEFA license A or B or C. So I think it will be an advantage, plus for them if they're being given chances again, the more like they've been having before. But the issue is most of these African nations are neatly. So given a manager a chance to manage your team and you are not getting the desired result, so the next thing is for you to ask him and get someone who can give you the results.
And actually, a lot of the Super Eagles fans are actually saying is because they lost because a lot of philanthropists are actually cheering them up with money that they woeful performance against Tunisia.
Of course, for the Super Eagles, owing to the fact that most times these guys are being owed their allowances and bonuses, and for people to have come out to donate, philanthropists and sport lovers to have come and donate to them, I think it should be a moral booster for these guys. It shouldn't have killed their morale, although at some point it will put a negative psychology effect on the team, because most of these guys will be anxious. Okay, I want to score for the team. So that's when you see them playing for themselves alone and not playing as a team. So, philanthropists giving cash or making donations to the team, it's nothing bad, and it has a plus for this team. But it's quite unfortunate. I think this will not be the first time of receiving such an award from philanthropists and sport-loving fans. But it's quite unfortunate that at this very moment, that's the song we are singing now, that because they've received so donations or the likes, and that's why they were defeated or something.
All the best to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we still have a match left, which is the World Cup qualifier. We are playing against Ghana. What's our chance against Ghana if we actually go to African Cup of Nations and play woefully against Tunisia?
If truly we want to be at Qatar later on in the year, I don't see we should be serious-minded, and we must not take any chance at this moment. We must give the best.
Austin Aguafon is still part of the technical crew.
I think shortly after the match against Tunisia, he declared the intention that he is no longer in charge of the team. So I think by now, I don't know what is stopping NFF to have made us know where we are going. Are we still going to be handled by Austin Aguavon, or
no? I think the NFF, led by Amadou Pinnick, has actually said before going to the Cameroon that
they will hand over
to Joseph Paseru, and all the necessary paper has been done.
Up to now, we still need a confirmation from this guy.
Okay, we await the NFF to make a confirmation on the issue of Joseph Paseru. Let's quickly discuss about matches played some couple of days back. We have Egypt yesterday played against Ivory Coast. It was one of the entertaining football, and it ended goalless, and they played a penalty to end it up, and Egypt actually made it to the quarterfinal. What's the chance of Egypt? Are they underdog in this tournament because they've not been performing excellently well? The Super Eagles defeated them. They played 1-0. It was even a hard nut to crack before they get to the round of 16.
Well, one thing about thing so unique about this African Cup of Nations is that the moment you win your game and you progress to the next round, you take every match as they come. So for Egypt to have defeated Cote d'Ivoire yesterday, I want to congratulate them, but they still have much to do, because this tournament they've not been exceptionally doing well, and compared to the Egypt, they want to once more become the African champion.
And yesterday we've been witnessing a lot of penalty in round of 16. Is the African Cup of Nations still competitive?
I think most times our games have been competitive due to our doggedness and rivalry between these nations before now. So once it gets into the next round of games, you discover teams want to sit up and give what it takes to have the result they really desire. So for the games to have been ending in goalless draw and resulting into penalty shootout, I see it as something competitive, like you said, and it's nothing bad.
So far so good in the knockout stage. It's only Cameroon that beforehand, Senegal is going to play against Guinea in the quarterfinal. Senegal, they made it through, despite Sadio Mane being injured. What's the chance of Senegal making it up to the final?
I think Senegal, the ball is in their court.
What of Cameroon?
And I see Cameroon advancing to the next round.
Okay, let's quickly take a flight. Balotelli is back to Italy trade. And this week is going to be an international break. It's going to we don't have any Premier League matches and the likes. Mario Balotelli, is it a good news to Italian team or bad news to them? And coupled with the fact that Mario Balotelli has always been on the controversial list in every social media.
Well, I think Mancini,
Roberto Mancini, yes, the coach.
And I've seen something in Mario Balotelli. They've played together at Manchester City, and you know how this guy is prolific, and I think he has at one time been one of for Italy for the Italian side. There's something Roberto Mancini might have seen in this guy to have brought him back at this moment. That okay, I need the experience. I think his experience will count in this next round of matches they have to play.
Okay, just of recent, one of Manchester United playmaker, Antonio Martial, actually joined Sevilla. In one of the transfer we've been expecting to happen. Does Ralph Ragnick doesn't need this guy in his squad? And what is the chance of Antonio Martial shining out at Spanish league with Sevilla?
I think Martial have been given enough chance
to prove himself
at Manchester. At least he had been managed by up to 4 managers now, and this guy had not been
proving himself right.
You know, when this guy made his debut, people thought, yes,
he has actually arrived
and he has a future to prolific enough, and on weekly basis you will receive your wages and you are not adding to the team. So I think going on loan to Sevilla, he should be able to prove himself now.
He wants to be in Sevilla.
Yes.
Okay, Chelsea ex-Real manager, which is Frank Lampard, is being told by Everton. What is the chance of Lampard making it up to Everton, Goodison Park? And coupled with the fact that a lot of things happened to Frank Lampard at Chelsea, he was sacked based on the fact that he's not doing well with the club. And Everton is not just an ordinary team that will acquire a manager who is not up to the task.
Yes, Frank Lampard been tipped for Everton job. Well, the fans really want him. I think there has been much of awareness at the toughest ground. I mean, Goodison Park, whereby fans have been moving around that they really want this guy hired of Pereira or something like that, Jota Pereira, that they really wanted Lampard because one, he had played in this league before and he understands the culture and the hell of this league. So I think with the experience he had earlier before coming to Chelsea and
with Derby
and with the one he had with Chelsea on his stint at Chelsea, I think he should be able to add something to that Everton side.
Okay, to another transfer winning Declan Rice this time around.
Whoever finally signed this guy had really done beautiful thing for his squad. So Rice, we know him to be one of the best when it comes to the English Premier League of recent, and he has really been proving himself. So all this why I expect this team. I mean, I expected this guy to have not to be playing for West Ham before now. Probably Chelsea, it's not a bad side, and if eventually he made it to the Manchester City squad, I think it's also a good thing for him. So Declan Rice, whoever signed you, it's going to really prove that yes, he what's been signed by whichever side.
Okay, up to another transfer window. Manchester City has entered the race to sign Paulo Dybala from Juventus 27. Paulo Dybala, one of the prolific player for Juventus, has actually been playing for Juventus so far. Do you see Dybala leaving Turin for Etihad Stadium?
Honestly, if I'm being asked, I wouldn't give this guy a chance to play at Manchester City. I think he should still stick with
Juventus, because Manchester City still have a lot of players playing within. They have a lot of players.
And for Dybala to leave that team again, it will also dampen and it will tell on the squad. Though player go, player come, the team still.
But you know, we see what happened to Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. Is Dybala want to leave Turin for Manchester?
So that's what I'm saying.
City.
The terrain of this league is quite different from each other. The peculiarity and uniqueness of each of this league, they differ. So already Dybala understand the game at Italy, and at Turin. So I don't see any reason he should become a legend for Juventus side. So he should still stay at Juventus. If the team, the management can still give him a lucrative contract that it will entice him for him to stay at the team. I think it would be a good thing for him.
Okay, I would like us to shift our focus to a trending news yesterday that the Premier League has actually hammered at any club that wanted to request for a postponement of match. There must be 4 cases of COVID-19 in their camp. Do you see that as a very good news, as a very good development in the English Premier League? Because a lot of teams have been using COVID-19 as an excuse just to postpone their match. Probably maybe their team is not doing. We have like 2-3 teams having 3 matches as outstanding matches, and which is an advantage to them. Do you see this news coming in as a very good news?
And very, very important. For the league management to have come up with this idea, I think it's a good thing that because some teams are really the advantage of this postponement, precisely Liverpool and some other teams like that. So for the Premier League to have come out with this measure, I think you have a team B and you also have your academy. You can raise these guys and make them play with the old guys, and before you know it, you get the results you want. So it's a good one that such measure has been taken.
Let's get back to the transfer window. If Newcastle want to sign Jesse Lingard on loan, they must pay Manchester United a €12 million survivor bonus if they avoid relegations. Manchester United is requesting for a lot of money if Jesse Lingard eventually leaves or emerges, which is the Newcastle.
I think why this guy was on loan last season, we all playing another team, and for Newcastle to acquire the service of this guy, I think it really add more value to this team, because at the moment they are the billionaire gang of now, and they are really they will pay the money, and they will. I think that money will be able to entice players like that. So Jesse Lingard should be able to go to Newcastle. He should be released from the Manchester
with the trending on point that Everton want to sign Frank Lampard. Now it's another big blow to the team that Abdoulaye Doucouré has been injured, and the technical and the medical crew, rather the physician, has actually confirmed that Doucouré will be out for up to 4 weeks. Doucouré has been one of the major consistent player in the team. Wouldn't this affect Everton's chance of making it up to a very good finish in the English Premier League?
I think compared, looking at their current form, they are not really doing well.
The likes of Richarlison have not been up to task this season,
and they have several blows on them in recent weeks. So for Doucouré again to be on sideline, it's not the best for them. So I think they should look for. Thank God we still have little days before the end of the transfer. They can still acquire the service of one prolific player that will be able to blend with the team, or probably they upgrade one of their team B member or academic player into the team.
To another transfer, Arsenal have interest in signing Victor Osimhen from Napoli. If they are unable to beat Juventus to sign their talisman Dusan Vlahovic, what's the chance of Arsenal signing Victor Osimhen? And do you see Osimhen coming to Emirates Stadium?
I don't see the chance of Osimhen coming to Arsenal
and leaving Napoli for Emirates.
Left to me, I would have advised Osimhen to still stay at Napoli. Because a few seasons ago he was playing at Lille. Before you know it, I think he only played just a season at Lille. Though he has really done well. In his first season, he didn't do that well, but in this current season, at least we've seen what he was able to do. But I will still advise this guy to stay at. I think Newcastle also want the services of this guy, but if eventually he decides to leave Napoli, I think the best side he can join now is Arsenal squad, because there will be a lot of chance for him Aubameyang is out of the team. If you hear in the news, he was not part of the team that traveled to Dubai.
Because Arsenal is planning to play a friendly match behind the closed door.
So, and then Nketiah and Lacazette had not been doing very well in front of the squad. So I think addition of Osimhen into their team, it will really be a good.
But you would have loved him to stay at Napoli.
Yes.
Okay, before we go on the short break, let's quickly discuss about Manchester United, our manager, Ralf Rangnick. The board is considering that Ralf Rangnick should stay at Manchester United because he's actually been impressing them with a lot of turnouts. Do you see him staying at Manchester United as their permanent manager? Don't forget, they said he's an interim manager. And at the end of the season, he will be their permanent.
Manchester United have been going around scouting or looking for managers for 2 seasons or from last season, and they've not been able to get one. I think at the point they were after Zinedine Zidane, at some point it was Mauricio Pochettino, and at some point again they were after this guy. What's this night? Okay, recently we heard Roberto Mancini can likely become the manager, but I think Rangnick had not been doing badly. If eventually he will be able to cement them in the top 4 and give them the needed results, they should still leave this guy and let him continue with his role. And don't forget, Jurgen Klopp and Thomas Tuchel has said at one time that they really respect this guy, that he has taught them and they've learned a lot from him. So I think it's a plus for Manchester United if they eventually extend his contract and make him their manager.
Okay, we hope that Manchester United make the new decisions. When we are back from our short break, I will discuss about Gianni Infantino proposal of 2 years for World Cup. But